Umamusume.
As you can tell by the title of this video, I am talking about the horse girl game.
In the 2018th year of our Lord Jesus Christ, Cygames looked upon horse racing and said, what if we made this into an anime? I am talking about the latest hit game out of Japan, Umamusume. Umamusume is more than just a video game, however. It is a $2.5 billion multimedia industry spanning from games, manga, anime, music, and a bunch of merchandise. That's right, liberal. This game is worth as much as your beloved TV show Friends. Cry about it. This is what peak media looks like.
This game, just like anything else related to anime, seems to consume the souls of everyone who's ever touched it, myself included.
While in Japan, I was bombarded by an endless wave of adverts for this game.
This game was around so much that I thought my guardian angel during my whole trip to Japan would be Shohei Ohtani, when in reality it was actually Special Week. Thank you, Special Week, you protected me from the Yakuza.
This game is to me what a brain worm is to RFK Jr., or what the Green Goblin mask is to Norman Osborn. The living proof that I have two sped hands in my head. That's just Umamusume talk for I'm stupid. Because this game has become a chronic addiction of mine, something that I have dumped an ungodly amount of hours into, I figured how better to honor that time than to dump an ungodly amount of hours into talking about it for what could be a 10-minute YouTube video. Now you may be asking, Nathaniel, you've talked about this for a minute, but you haven't explained what exactly Umamusume is. To that I say, Umamusume is the Hindu belief of reincarnation, but for horses as anime girls. Said reincarnated horses go on to basically live out their exact same life from the real world, repeating everything they did, but as an anime girl. Meaning these real-life horses' Wikipedia pages serve as spoilers for the anime.
さすが目白家の令嬢金星の取れた神々しい何
するんですの？やっぱり幕君と夢をかけるよ何回だって勝ち進め勝利のその先へ
As I said earlier, Umamusume Pretty Derby is an anime about horse girls. Not girls who like horses, not jockeys, literal reincarnated racehorses competing for glory and occasionally bursting out into idol performances. And somehow, this is one of the most heartfelt sports animes Japan has ever made. As an individual who's never watched anime prior to this has by far been one of the more interesting animes I've ever watched. The anime is divided into two lines of content. The main line, which is about 6 seasons of TV shows and a movie, and the Umion, which is 2 different seasons which make up the... It's not very good. But without giving too much of a spoiler as to what this main anime pertains to, I want to explain why millions of people, including myself, love this anime so much. Ironically, most of the seasons follow the same plot of girl enters school, girl enters races, girl wins races, she has trouble, she wins the big race, the end. Despite its repetitiveness, this show is like crack cocaine emotionally for people such as myself, to which I am chronically addicted to it and have watched season 2 5 times just to feel something. Umamusume is not about who wins the race, it's about who believes in friendship the most per stride. Something that even a professional hater such as myself would long to have. Each season has the emotional pacing of a war drama, but the aesthetic of a cereal commercial. You come for the absurdity, you stay because somehow you're emotionally invested in a horse girl's ACL injury. Or you're like me and you're sobbing on the floor of your room at 3 a.m. because you relate too much to Rice Shower's story. While it may feel like each season is the same, they actually each have their own unique plot. For example, Season 1 is about dreams, Season 2 is about pain, and Season 3 is about the power of friendship. But most importantly, Cinderella Grey is about being a glutton. The best part about this anime series is that it has something for everyone, and if there isn't something for you, wait until Umamusume releases a new Uma with your personality, and then wait for him to inevitably release a season about that character. After all, there are 114 characters in the game with that number going up, so surely there will be 114 seasons of Umamusume with that number also going up. After all, why not follow in Marvel's footsteps with the MCU and create a cinematic universe the size of Texas? All that aside, the show is a really great show, and is up there with the likes of JJ to Jet Plane in my opinion. However, compared to the hit HBO show Velma, no cigar. But ultimately, this show did inspire me. So after watching a bunch of anime girls cry, achieve more in life than me, and have better friendships than me as well, I was naturally inclined to dump an ungodly amount of hours into the game rather than fix those problems.
I'm going to kill myself and it's your fault!
When I started the game, I enjoyed how fun the gameplay was and got invested in some of the character stories. But after watching the anime, I threw out the English version of the game and I went straight into the Japanese servers in hope of getting Narita Top Road or Kita-san Black since they took too long to release them on global.
Laverne and Shirley.
But I want it now!
I was also so invested into the lore, I wanted to get all the Team Speaker members so I could watch them perform concerts. So I began a deep search on how to unlock all of them, then consequently spent $300 only for Silent Suzuka to evade me. I swear this horse mocks me. It also doesn't help that if you plan out your carrot usage during your earlier stage of your career, you could really set yourself up for success. However, I wasted all my carrots on a lot of Uma gachas rather than spending them on support card gachas. So now I have to rent decks, which means I can't afford to buy more Uma pieces. Speaking of which, Side Games understood what they released onto this earth when you open the gacha page and they ask for your date of birth. They ask because they need to know if you're making enough money to spend on their games, which unless you're a millionaire, you probably aren't. Because of how addicting the gachas are, especially regarding the Umas, as often they advertise a really unique banner Uma, which you more than likely want to pull, you're going to dump all your carrots into trying to get the banner Uma. Unless you're me and you got really lucky for some reason and got Dance Flame on your first pull. However, for your cards, you're not going to be as lucky. If you want a Kita-san Black card, you might as well fork over $50 and buying the rental deck starter packs, along with a few thousand carrots, because you're not going to be pulling Kita-san Black out of any banner at all, especially in Japan server. This piles on to a problem of the worse your deck is, the worse your Umas are, meaning that if you aren't pulling quality cards, which even then, rainbow cards, or SSRs as they're referred to in the gacha system, may not be as good as the ones that are considered meta. Meaning that if you're pulling SSRs endlessly but they are not the meta, you're still screwed regardless. Meaning that you need to seriously either fork over real money or you need to forfeit a large sum of your in-game money to use rental decks in order to stay competitive and develop your Umas to higher levels. However, Side Games is generous enough to give you the opportunity of, if you spend 200 spins on the card gacha or Uma gacha, they'll just let you have the character for free. Albeit, after you spent probably what is the equivalent of $1,000. I like to think of the Umamusume gacha as a spiritual experience, where my faith, patience, and wallet are all tested equally. After either breaking your budget, racking up a ridiculous amount of credit card debt, or taking out a mortgage, or you just gave up and decided that you're going to use rental decks for the rest of your life, you have decided that you probably want to start training your Uma, which is a wise decision considering 95% of the gameplay is locked behind the fact that you need to train an Uma anyway. As you start training your Uma, you will be introduced to some interesting concepts in this game, such as the fact that 90% of your training is actually just a visual novel, where you will spend a lot of your time reading what your Uma has to say, rather than being Nick Saban and coaching your Uma and yelling at her. However, in this game exist two Achilles heels to your coaching career, one being the fact that these are young women who are extremely hormonal and emotional,
Julian!
meaning that a good mood can rapidly turn into a bad mood in a matter of 5 seconds, and two, the RNG or random number generator is out to get you. There's something deeply poetic about being told, "Trainer-san, I will win for you," right before she finishes 9th and you question your leadership. This makes me question my whole life existence, and whether or not I would be fitted to raise a daughter in the future. The game adds a unique feature called a bond level, in which as you train your Uma and as you partake in things more and more with your Uma, you develop your bond level to a higher level, helping you unlock things such as carrots and unique costumes that they can wear, which I think are really only for concerts. And so when you reach level 12, congratulations, you earned a concert costume, which is just the street clothes they wear. But I call this an emotional hostage situation, because I am investing way too much time in Majiro McQueen's story to develop a bond level of 7. Once you reach the level of addiction only known to a Chinese man from the 1830s to opium with your Umas and their races, you begin to feel a lot like F1 team principals as you become so deeply invested in your racing team that you are going insane as you watch your racehorse fumble the bag on a race, similar to Toto Wolff in the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Speaking of which, I've seen F1 races with less emotional volatility than a single Umamusume race. One minute you're leading the pack, the next you're praying to RNGesus like you're on the Haas F1 pit wall at Monaco. They say every champion's story ends in glory. Mine ends with an extremely high blood pressure and hitting retire in the menu. And this is just talking about the URA Finals story. This doesn't include the other stories such as DIY Island, the Arch de Triomphe, the cooking one, this one. I don't even know what this one's about. AI? What is this? Elon Musk simulator? Regardless, you eventually get to the point where you're grinding out DIY Island sessions non-stop 24/7 and start analyzing training builds like it's the NFL draft. Similar to how the One Ring consumes Gollum, you too will be consumed by the desire to get a US Uma, and you will begin to forget about your Uma's dreams. Haru Urara? No, I want a US level Dirt Uma who can take it all the way to the championship for anything, or win any race and decimate my enemies. I don't want to train a loving daughter, I want to train a nuclear bomb. You'd think I'm joking when I say that Mihono Bourbon's trainer changed my worldview. I'm not. I'm practical, cold, and perhaps a member of the Yakuza. So much so that there's something deeply wrong about needing a spreadsheet to optimize anime horse girls. What once started as me caring for the dreams of my daughters has now turned into me chasing results and trying to build an Alabama-level dynasty of racing horse girls. Umamusume isn't a racing game, it's a personality test, and I more than likely failed.
走れ棒馬響け牝馬 踊れ有馬のカルナバル誰も彼も浮かれ騒ぎ光る汗がはじけ飛ぶ熱い風に体預け心ゆくまで馬見れば芝も歌うよ愛のパドック胸に溢れるこのリズム俺マツケン有馬俺マツケン有馬ああ走れよ2005踊ろ中山眠りさえ忘れて走り明かそうボーバ牝馬戦馬マツケン有馬オレ
Now this is the unifying part of both the game and the anime. Umamusume music in regards to the albums they released are about a surplus of 30, meaning that this is probably the largest idol group in Japan right now, which is a bunch of voice actors pretending to be these said horse girls, who go around touring, performing concerts as said horse girls. Did you really think this whole time that you were playing a horse racing / dating simulator? You're not. You're playing an idol management RPG that occasionally lets you run laps around a racetrack. See, in the Umamusume universe, you don't celebrate a win by going to the paddock or standing on the podium. No, you star in your own idol concert in which your defeated foes all have to be your backup dancers and singers as you take the spotlight. This is truly probably the most defeating and most mentally debilitating concept imaginable, especially for young women. And the craziest part about all this psychological warfare is it's my favorite part of the game. And the game's music isn't good because someone made a catchy melody and used their cheap means of production to make it sound good. No, they hired a full-blown orchestra to perform certain songs for the game's soundtrack. They have an idol group, basically, that performs for them. They have writers, musical writers, of the highest quality, writing music that will get stuck in your head. This is content that should be an independent artist performing, or should be a blockbuster movie soundtrack, but instead, this is the content of a mobile game. Like, why does a Horse Girls victory song sound like something you could hear headline the Tokyo Dome? I don't get why the music is so good. And at first, you tell yourself, I'm ironically going to listen, I'm ironically going to watch because I get rewarded for listening and watching in the game. And then the song's in your head and you start to think about it a little bit. And then you start to listen to it ironically on Spotify. And 2 days later, you have Make Debut at the top of your Spotify stats for the year. And you've only listened to it for 2 days straight. And I quite honestly can't tell if that last point is me just noticing the cracks in my sanity, or the fact that the music is so good. I'd like to blame both. I might be insane. It might be good. It might be both. Why not? But I do recognize that there just comes a moment in every Umamusume's player's life where you're watching an idol concert of your favorite horse girl and you just realize, this isn't just a game anymore. This is art. And it's also my life now. And this feels like this game is a Trojan horse to get idol culture into the wider world. A sort of middle finger to China and Korea saying, screw your K-pop and screw whatever you make, China. We have horse girls who are idols, and we are getting people addicted to this faster than the British could get Chinese people addicted to opium in the 1830s. But it really goes to show the somewhat what you would call a depth chart of this franchise's reach. Not only is the anime good, not only is the game good, but even the background music is good. There's so much level of detail and quality into this that
it's kind of hard not to get addicted to it, especially when the music sounds so good. But I don't know what this says about me. But somewhere deep inside, I am a middle-aged Japanese salaryman waving a glow stick in the front row. This stuff is way too catchy, like unreasonably catchy. You know what? The time for talk's over. Watch this montage. This is a tribute to Umamusume music.
And of course, whoa, whoa, what?
迷わないで止まらず行こう君と夢をかけるよ何回だって巻き起こせスパッ諦めないで I believe いつか決めたゴールにさあ届け全速で走りまくろうネバーギブアップ風も音も光もさあ今書き出した想いはもう止まらない誰にも渡せないゴールまで弱気な気持ち蹴っ飛ばしてなんとなくずっと立ち上がって走り抜け出した鼓動は収まらない最後まで全身全霊をかけて頂点手を伸ばして限界最高で伝説する追い越して勝利へ友と二人競い爆心爆心爆心爆心爆心爆心爆心爆心爆心シーン爆心爆心爆心よお日様パッパが快晴でちょこちょこ何気に第一第二第三四号だんだんだんだん値段も近づきレンタの夜で出走で今日もめちゃめちゃはちゃめちゃだガチ追い込み込み食いであの子はこの子はどいつもこいつもあらら頭いでとくんじねえ形塗っても合わない今日の勝利の女神は私だ
Alright, that's been enough horsing around. But in all seriousness, this franchise really fascinates me, and how it all comes together. The over-the-top drama, the unexpected heartfelt character arcs, the absurd moments of emotional investment you end up pouring into watching what are essentially anime horse athletes. On paper, it's such a ridiculous concept, yet somehow, it's one of the most human games I've ever played. Maybe that's the real magic behind Umamusume. Behind the high-speed races, the idle concerts, and the catastrophic RNG, there's heart. There's beauty in the grind. There's something strangely profound about cheering on a cartoon horse girl as she faces down failure and pressure and her own limits. And somehow, it reminds you a little of your own. As we relate to the struggles of these characters from Tokai Teo and Kita-san Black, we see them overcome adversity in whatever way they can and however they can, whether it be through the help of others or through their own reflection and their own introspective and their own self-worth. We see that no matter what, they never give up, and that in that, we can take away just a little bit of how we can improve our lives from fictional horse girls. Anyway, that's all for me. I'd say more, but I'd rather go back to watching my beloved Majira McQueen pretend to be Max Verstappen as she destroys the dreams of other Umas and stresses out every other player on the leaderboard. God bless her and her natural strength.